us to have extra sheets here.
Oh, that's the one that says we're gonna do the sharing thing.
I don't think I think that's.
Okay, you pointed.
No.
Point? Okay, good. I guess we're gonna call the financial committee meeting to order. It is 6:05. We are not all here, so do we want to just say who's here
Okay.
for the?
Bernie Parada present on January 5th, 2026.
Lindsay McCarthy?
And Robin Vandermatt. So where it's just the three of us, we are not going to do the minute approval, so we're going to skip that and dive straight into the Senior Center Council on Aging. If you guys would like to come up, make sure to speak into the microphone or speak loudly, clearly.
See, that's the beauty of recording this, because then Dan and others can see it later.
Yep.
So,
And please identify yourselves to the committee, please.
So my name is Colleen Letourneau. I'm the director of the Northfield Senior Center and the Council on Aging.
My name is Margaret Livingstone, and I am the chair on the Council on Aging.
could I ask just a simple question before you start? What's the difference between the senior
She's the
center and the...
director.
Well, what's the difference between the two organizations? Or how do they relate it?
We're a support board for her efforts and the
Okay, so
efforts of
you're
the.
a support board. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
She's the director, and we're the collaborative support.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Is that right?
It is right.
Okay.
And you're very supportive, I must say.
Okay.
All right. When you guys are ready, go ahead and.
Okay, so you have all of my information, so I'll just go over the reasons for what I'm asking for and the reasons why I'm not asking for anything. We'll go line by line. For the equipment and repairs, I'm in good shape with that. I do not need any increase, or I'm fine with the amount that we're working on. Meetings and seminars, I do ask for $100 to increase, and that's because the annual Massachusetts Council on Aging Fall Conference, the hotel stays, and the prices are going up, basically, and $100 should cover it. It's all right.
Okay.
Should we stop?
Just be a second delay, you'll have to announce
Yes.
that we're now we have a quorum.
All right. So Morgan's here, so now we have a quorum.
Help her mic up, because I don't
So
know if she-
underneath the table is a microphone you're gonna need to put on earlier. It's hanging. Yes. You're just gonna put it on here so we can talk because we're being recorded. We're live. We're on TV. All right. Sorry for the interruption.
That's all right. Does she need to introduce herself?
Do you want to say you're here?
Morgan O'Brien is here at 6:08.
Okay. And I'm Colleen Letourneau, the director of the Council on Aging and the Senior Center.
And I'm Margaret Livingstone. I'm the chair of the Council on Aging.
Which is a support to us. Anyway, so Morgan, I was just going down some of the line items as to what I'm requesting or not requesting for any increase in my budget. So I've gotten as far down as the Council on Aging meetings and seminars, and I'm asking for $100, and that will cover any wiggle room of an increase, which always happens. For the Council on Aging fall conference, that I bring the chair, and if she's not available or he's not available, then one of the others, they lottery style, would come with me to this very important conference. For postage, I no increase requested. COA office supplies, I'm in good shape there, and no increase suggested or requested. COA office supplies, again, no increase requested. COA other charges, no increase requested. COA mileage, no increase requested. COA dues and membership, I am asking for $100 due to the annual motion picture license fee and the annual MCOA dues that increase every year by at least $30, $40, so that would absorb that nicely and not go over. I am asking for a new category, and that is funding each year for the Memory Cafe. And a Memory Cafe, if you have my information, I wrote out an explanation of what a Memory Cafe is. And we are Northfield, and almost every community in the Commonwealth are part of the Age and Dementia Friendly Initiative. And the Memory Cafe, I am currently working on a grant that will help me cover the costs of the free, being able to come free, having quality entertainment, a home-cooked meal, socialization, and support. And because of the popularity of this new program that I started 2 years ago, I can't see it ever going away. It's too important, and it follows beautifully with the Age and Dementia Friendly Initiative that the whole Commonwealth is supposed to be working on, from sidewalks to benches to memory cafes to, they want everybody in any orifice of the Commonwealth, any department you're in, to think age and dementia friendly. So it's a big push. And I think since we are one of very few in this area, and it's populated by not only Northfield, mostly Northfield, but we have from time to time drawn in people that needed us, that attend the Greenfield site, the Shelburne site, and they come to us as well. So at least 3 days a month they're out doing something, they're meeting people, they're feeling supported, so the caregiver doesn't have burnout. The care recipient, who's the person with the cognitive issues, has a sense of normalcy. It's failure-free, judgment-free, supportive, and it's just one of those line items that I think never should go away or be at risk of having any kind of lapse in monies, which I did have a short time, and it was difficult keeping that quality of performance and activity and program going. So I'm asking the town and the finance committee to award us $3,000, and I have run through the grants to support me, so now I'm asking for the town to help us. So my other new position, my
Can I
new
ask a-
line item, oh, sorry,
Okay, so it meets once a month.
once a month.
Okay.
Am I correct in understanding this currently exists and it's just a question of changing fund source?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
And I don't want it to be in jeopardy because I've done everything but handstands to get the money through, so I've run out of handstands. I'm asking for, and it's a beautiful gesture for the town to support such a age and dementia friendly program.
Do you know about how many people do you have attending? How many?
Well, I have my volunteers, my other staff person, and we have had up to 25 people in the room.
Wow. Okay.
And it's really, they've all gotten to know each other. It's just a beautiful program.
They look forward to seeing each other once a month, sitting, talking. For many of the caregivers, it's very isolating
Yeah.
what they're
Yeah.
doing, and as much as they love their person, and this gives them an opportunity to talk to others and compare notes.
And I do a lot of
Huge.
outreach with they're called care partners. I do a lot of outreach and fielding questions and concerns because I'm also dementia certified, so I know a lot about that, and I'm a social worker. So I'm able to hook them up with services out of Life Path or private help, and so it's just a really good testament to show that Northfield supports our growing senior population, but also people who are suffering from cognitive decline and their care partners who are really struggling. And I have one other new line item. We have grown expeditiously. We are just busting at the seams downstairs. I'm asking for another part-time person, non-benefited. We guess that it would be about $22,000 a year, 19 hours a week, to help support the programs, the activities, the tasks involved in pulling off the size of what we do here. I did a few statistics, and what I'm asking for is $22,000. This person would be helping me have time to be a director and doing all the things that a director needs to do. Right now, I am that person plus being a director, and it's exhausting. and it's stressful. So it needs to, I think it's time. I looked up from when I started, the beginning of fiscal year 21, we only had 18 volunteers at that time, and I'm up to now in fiscal year 25, 54 volunteers. Sign-ins increased by 14,240 hours of activities and programs since I first started.
Wow.
So I have the proof in the pudding that we need another support staff person for the times when one of us is out to help with every program. Every program needs another person in that room, hands-on. And we're
Set up, clean up,
Set
food
up.
prep, serving, and not to replace the volunteers, since we love what we do.
But you were really heavily being relied on, and all of them were saying, "Can we get you another position?"
This
Because
is something that the Council on Aging
they're the ones that
felt that she really
Brought
needed
this
just by
up.
watching what she does. She does food prep, she does cleaning, she does setup, along with the part-time person that's there now.
and the
It's-
grants and the annual
Not in her
reports, and
office.
all the other things I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
Which I'm doing, but anyway, so we just feel that it's time, and we have the statistics to prove that we have grown triples. I mean, and there's no sign that it's going to stop. We're a small place, but we could maybe extend our hours with a new person. Even asking for the 19-hour person doesn't even feel like enough. I feel like I should say, could we? But I'm going small at first, so we can see if that can fold in naturally. And so we're asking for that.
I was actually at a health fair this fall, and people were coming up and, you're Northfield, you're the Northfield Senior Center, you're so welcoming, you're so sweet, we love going there, and they're not even from our town, so
Yeah.
it's really important.
Yep. And similar towns have 3 to 5 staff plus a director. I have me and a 24-hour person right now, and we're running programs 14,000 hours, more than we did when I started. So that's what I'm asking.
Okay. Could I just ask a clarification question about your top 2 lines? I'm looking at the part-time person. In 25, it was 29,000. In 26, it dropped to 24.
Allocated. That would be an Andrea question.
Okay.
That was a change in the qualifications and hiring of the person. When one person left and a new person began, they actually started at a different step. They had different qualifications. It was a change.
Okay. And then the director wages, is that, what percentage increase is that? The 3665, is that a 3%?
Director wages 30.
Well, that also could include a step raise too.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Where did it come, what does that mean?
That comes from the town step
It's a step raise?
scale, yeah.
That would be an Andrea question.
I shouldn't hear the question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry. I was just
What
asking.
the source of the $3,600 raise request for the director is from? Is that a step?
That's all COLA.
As all COLA at 3%?
She might have a step.
Well, that's what I was wondering, because it seems
I have
it's
the-
way more
I
than
have
3.
the sheet right here.
Okay, so a
Yeah,
COLA
they
and a
don't-
step?
I don't have that. They have
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Question I have, forgive me for asking, but again, this is where the finance committee, we have to, ask this.
That's what we do.
Yeah, your budget with the $22,000 is a substantial increase in your line. We've been, like I said, been hearing from, especially the Mass Municipal Association, that we're looking at very tight budgets because federal grants and state grants are drying up.
Yeah.
And they're basically saying we have to tighten our belts. This is going to require some serious consideration on our part because this is up for your budget It was a pretty substantial increase. I hope you understand that, because we're gonna be looking at a very tight situation for this
Right.
upcoming fiscal year.
And if you look back at the most I've ever asked for was like $200 each year.
Oh,
I know,
I'm not,
no,
I'm-
it's not that.
in no way I'm not your history, I'm just
Right.
saying, we are gonna have to be very tight-fisted.
Right.
You know, I'm sorry, I have to be honest with you.
Well, no, that's
we're
what you
up-
did.
And then, again, it's not gonna just be your department, it's gonna be all of them.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to be very picky.
Mm.
We're gonna have to look at everything to try to, live within our means that are the current, financial situation here. Many communities got used to all the grants, the federal grants and all the things that were given also to the states, that came down to municipalities. And again, that's all drying up. And the other thing is, we hear from a lot of taxpayers who don't want to see their property taxes increase. So we're kind of in a bind here. We have to be responsive to the residents and their fiscal
And their
demands.
abilities, yeah.
And their ability to pay these taxes, to be
Right.
affordable to live in this town. So I hope you understand, we're gonna give this serious thought,
Right.
okay?
So I just want one thing to say, and I understand what you're dealing with, sure. The senior center and the council on aging represent 1/3 of Northfield's population. And it's getting bigger because the baby boomers are now through and getting up, and there's more and more. We have a very small template here in that little room downstairs. And as far as I see other departments getting, or have in the past, maybe they can't any longer, but we have not asked for much for a very long time, probably ever. And I think it deserves some recognition that we're growing, which is a really great thing, and we really need the support, which would be one part-time staff person to help us continue.
No, we're well aware that our town is aging. It is,
Yes, I'm
it's
contributing.
quite obvious, we see the statistics and we know that, we're graying and the population isn't increasing in our community.
Yeah.
So we understand, the situation that you're faced with.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, we're gonna have to be, thorough.
Yeah.
Well, I do hope that you'll be able to consider it in some way, because it's just so important to be able to serve all the people that really have come to depend on the senior center for social and support service.
Last year, people served, fiscal year, 5,904.
Nice.
So we're doing a bang-up job with we're making lemonade out of lemons here. And we'd like a little sugar for the lemonade to taste better and work better.
There you
No,
go.
one thing is, I want you to understand, there's no criticism of your department, or it's running, or what you're doing. I'm just saying, we're faced with a tough situation,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So, again, the breathing room that we had for a few years there has kind of disappeared.
I should have grabbed it back then.
Well, thank you for your
Necessary.
response.
Sure.
Thank you for
No,
coming.
no problem.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
I don't have anything else. Oh, yes, you. Hello, you.
Hi, I am curious to know if you can tell me a little bit more about how you see the delineation between the two part-time positions, with this one being created and the one that already exists.
Well, the one that already exists is a administrative program assistant. She's behind, she's answering the phone calls mostly, currently always, and I'm doing the other half. And she does the newsletter with me. She does a lot of the data entry, the van trip rides that we get. We have to put it in by hand each time. She helps program development with me. This person would augment both of us by just being another person in there. We would be picky with they
Being
would
able to
need,
set up for
Set up.
activities every day.
it's a
clean
physical
up,
job too.
Arrange things.
Oh yeah, sanitize,
Go and get food for the meals.
to leave us back so they could go shopping. I mean, just, there's so many other things that go on to make these, like, it looks so effortless, and it's really so not.
Yeah.
So this person would just help support if, like, I've got a heavy time where I'm doing annual reports for the state or here, and I'm not even able to get out, but I do, and then I stay late or whatever, and it would just, I also see it as a person that when she gets a phone call, which happens all the time, that person is present to what's going on, and my population is quite elderly. I've got people in walkers and oxygen, and they worry me every day how they're going to do, and we monitor lots of
Keeping an
intangibles.
eye on the trip to the bathroom, things
Exactly, but just having another person with a set of skills that knows elderly, that knows aged. I don't think elderly is
like that. That set of
appropriate anymore.
skills can be learned. I mean, all the volunteers have.
And they need to be strong. So I don't care. I just know that it's a very physical job, more so than I ever thought it was going to be. And we need somebody to be able to fill that gap.
And when are you guys looking to get, let's say that it gets approved, when are you looking to get that position filled?
As soon
Like
as
as
the
soon as
town
possible?
approves it. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. It would be immediate if we've
That's
had
good.
it. Definitely.
The thought in my mind, kind of reading this from a maybe more scrutinizing position, is if you have a part-time position at that 24 hours, would there be value in increasing them to like a 30-hour position to meet some of that need? I'm hearing you say that there's a need for just a whole nother person
Yeah.
to need to be there. And I guess I'm curious to know kind of what the negotiation is to be able to supplement with volunteers, or like what your scheduling looks like where these additional hours
Well,
are helpful.
I don't know. What do you,
Well, I'm thinking that the person who wants just 24 hours may not be interested in that deal, and I may lose that person. So I wouldn't want to jeopardize what she has contracted with our town to do. If ever there was a time when she bowed back, retired herself, whatever, we could relook at joining those two positions. But really having two people out front, front of the house people needs more than one.
Gotcha.
And when one person is out sick or on a vacation, or anything, that would be me going out front then. And now, to heck with everything
not
that's
doing
going
the
on
social work
in my
thing.
Yeah.
And so it's really it really needs two people front of the house, I call that. And I'm the bones back here, but they really run the program. And
the physical part of it, yeah, and it's a lot of physical.
It
I mean,
is.
The work we put into the Memory Cafe
Alone,
as
it's just one-
volunteers it's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted by the time, and I'm pretty healthy.
yeah.
So there's a lot there, and there's a lot of little activities like the bridge group and stuff. They still need
Yeah.
some service, and bring them a coffee,
Yeah.
things like that. Yeah, and to be able to set up that coffee.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There's stuff like that
You know,
all day.
Yeah, we
All
greet
day.
the
And she's
van, we
doing
help
it.
them, escort them in because it's often quite steep, even though it's not steep, it's compliant, but it's for them, it is. And so we walk next to them the whole way. And and they come often, so those people are really, we don't want to neglect any part of what we've already built. And we've built a lot, and we're all proud of it. And we want it to continue growing, or at least stay stable. And my coworker right now comes 9 to 3, Monday through Thursday. I need somebody to stay till 4 or 5. I need somebody to come maybe at 8, because when I get in and I'm doing my thing, my bridge players, I have several groups, they come in, they want to get in at 8:15, 8:45, and the doors aren't even open yet, so I'm constantly listening to the bell and running for them, and you should just sit down there someday, just take a piece of it, you'll see.
It sounds like a very lively space.
It is,
sounds
it's
like
really
such an
fun,
important
we
community
love it.
space.
When I retired, I had no idea that I would become so involved with the senior center, but I don't want not to be now.
Yeah,
It's everything, and I've met so many people.
that's right.
People who, immediately latch on and say, we need to connect, and
Yeah.
we need to do this, and it's so important for them to have that social.
And there's so many people willing to help on my board. I've got the highest amount, 8 board members.
Wow.
I've got a whole robust friends group, and I'm just like, and they can only do so much, and even they are exhausted. So they still want to do it, but
Yeah.
not all day, or to help.
And
We really need
more than
somebody
half of
else.
them have been helping all their lives. There's, what, 4 of us have been former teachers at Pioneer?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you guys. But I hope you can consider it.
I hope there's a space for it, but you have to do what you have to do, but know that it is so needed.
Yeah.
So needed, and this really was coming from the Council on Aging Board, and we went to her and said, you really
You need more
this."
help. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you
you.
guys, appreciate it.
Appreciate your listening to us.
We are. It is 6:30. It's time for the recreation department to come up. I love that for everybody. Thank you.
Did you bring us a treat?
I thought about bringing you more
Thank you.
treats, but that's all I got.
This is a treat, just to get some.
I'll let Josh go. He's
Okay.
our chair.
For those who don't know, I'm Josh Roman. I'm the chair of the Recreation Commission, and I have Stacy, our program director, with me today. So Recreation is requesting the same amount we did last year. We're not asking for any increases. Financially, we're in a good spot. Last year's budget worked out really well, so we're just gonna roll with it and kind of continue on into next year, kind of maintaining the what we had. We're at a really good spot as far as like, we're not really growing, but we're not shrinking any. We're just really steady, and we're at a good place. We don't really have any more capacity to grow without growing our budget or growing our staff. So, but I feel like what we're offering is a good amount to the town, both. And our focus right now is hitting all age groups. We're hitting the adults from the pickleball to the exercise classes to, other things. We're trying to hit the teens, which is the hardest age group to hit, with some cooperative with the library, and we're going to be doing an open gym at the elementary school for some middle school and 6th graders as well to join in.
Fun night.
Fun night. And then obviously our youth sports from pre-K up to 6th grade are booming right now. Soccer being our biggest. I think we reached over 70 kids, which is a huge part of the elementary school. I mean, I'm thinking it's probably closer to half the elementary school at this point.
Yeah, I mean, what, like 5 years ago at this point? I can't even remember how many years at this, but it went from basically being just a kid's sports is all the rec pretty much did, and we've grown so much, and now we've kind of like, okay, we're gonna just bask in this growth. We're gonna, find our sweet spot, see where, and just see where it goes from there. But yeah, like Josh said, we've grown so much that now we're at a point where we're good for what we have, and everything's working really well, and but yet we're still offering things people want, and new and different stuff as needed. Like I said, the middle school game night was actually a couple parents that came to us and said, we want stuff for our kids. And we said, okay, let's do it.
And then the expansion last year with the Events Coalition and the Winter Weekend was like our big signature event. That was a
Right.
great success.
And that's coming up again. We're actually just starting to get some of the big pieces together for that, so we can plan on the second year in a row, the Northfield Winter Weekend on Valentine's weekend. Hopefully we got a pig roast happening again.
Oh, wow.
That was a good time.
Yeah. Maybe a dodgeball tournament.
And these are all things that we can offer because we have a full-time program director. If it's on the backs of volunteers, we can't
Yeah,
offer all these things. It's just a lot
too
to ask
much.
of them. So
Yeah.
having a full-time program director has been a huge asset to the department for sure.
For sure.
And it works out really well with, I can basically do, a lot of us have kids because, I just do, but so
It
like,
happens.
in between, kids going to school and I have my laptop and I'm here, there and everywhere. So it works good although I have my tiny little office in the basement, which is literally a closet. But that's all I need. I just need a filing cabinet with a lock that has a location. So So yeah.
So Stacy, you're full-time?
Not
What's your
quite
contract
full time.
supposed to be?
It's 30 hours a week.
Your contract says 30 hours
Yeah.
a week, okay. I was gonna say, because that's not a
Yeah, it's
full-time
not quite.
salary.
It's not
Yeah.
quite full time. Yeah, I mean full time to what we were used to.
Yeah.
it was 30 hours like a month at one point.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you took a serious hit back in COVID, obviously.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
Restrained your services pretty substantially, and then it
Absolutely.
takes time to, rebuild from that major difficulty we had. But again, too, the growth in services and the self-sustainment in many ways too has been excellent, and we have to thank you for providing, services to the town that the townspeople are looking for.
Thank you.
So for, love a good handout.
We plan on doing one every spring, like as the weather starts to look nice, and and we mail it to all the residents, because obviously social media and email and stuff like that only hits a certain percentage. I did get some people that had called me last year and said, "What about tennis?" And I said, "Well, guess what? There is a tennis court."
Is looking at the what we offer section, it sounds like this is where you've landed, and this is what you'd like to maintain for the next, like, this has felt great. Does this come from this past year?
Yeah, that was from this past year.
Yeah. Okay.
So there might not be and we've had things in the past that we don't currently have, but we also have things now that we didn't have in the past. So it fluctuates with what people, what we, and sometimes, like we had a free chorus group, and we just so happened to have a woman that was available to do it all the year round, but her son is actually headed to the Olympics, so she couldn't do it. Yeah, so she couldn't do it this year. So, it sometimes just depends on people's availability and what they're, like ballet too, that we haven't been able to work that this year, or this coming year, maybe we can, so.
And do you have a sense of the number of folks or attendees who came to a program?
I do have on our website, the MyRec we use keeps track of all the numbers. Don't ask me to think of them all in my head. But some things are very well attended, some things not as well attended, and some things just kind of have their ups and downs. And in a town of 3,000 people, you sort of expect that kind of thing. It's not always everybody all the time, but and that's why like I said, we've sort of offered a lot of stuff, and we're sort of trying to find that nice spot, what people want and things like that. Like pickleball was huge a couple of years ago, but then like Greenfield and stuff, like they opened up a bunch of pickleball courts and stuff too. So we lost a lot of people to that. So it's still going, and people are still wanting it. It's just not as big as it was. So but we'll see. And then if that ends up being too low, we might try something different, so it's just, try and ebb and flows with what people want, what we have available, what makes sense, financially and stuff like that too, so.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And we encourage people to come to us if they have ideas or wants or needs for things, so that we know, because again, that's what we want to do. We want to give people what they're looking for.
Were you gonna speak to the fields maintenance piece, or ask for the 8,200?
So that would be paint for the soccer fields, lines for the baseball fields, maintaining those fields.
You just want to know what it's for?
Yeah.
Yeah,
because you had nothing. You had the same amount. You're asking for the same amount, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wonder what you do with it. So you paint the lines.
Yep. Paint the lines. In the past,
Spray paint is extremely expensive.
yep.
No doubt.
In a growing year, the grass, we have to repaint the wheat fields almost every week, and it's about a case of paint to paint all the soccer fields.
Wow.
So it's a constant expense. The baseball fields we just redid with a infield dirt, and then we're going to start adding the infield conditioner to them. We also added the softball field over in West Northfield that we're now helping with the maintenance of that as well, so that the softball team has a full-time field to be able to use. So it's and the other hope is that our grass is struggling. It's needs some major work. Is the hope that we can start repairing some of that grass and get some new grass and some better field.
Maybe some rain would be good.
That was
Yes.
the killer,
Yeah.
last year. That was like
Yeah.
dirt.
And now the weeds have taken over, so it's
course.
getting grass back to
Okay.
grow. So that's the hope that we can use that.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, that was easy.
I was gonna say, we tried to make it pretty
Yep.
straightforward this year because I mean we did ask for a lot extra the last couple of years, so it made
But we
sense.
were in a growing phase too.
Yeah, but we were in a growing phase, so now
So
that
now
we're
you're
not,
hitting-
it doesn't make sense to ask for more. So
You get participants from other towns. though,
we
too,
do.
right?
We have to with a
That's what I
small
thought.
town in order
That's
to
what
make.
I thought I heard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
But and depending on what it is, so typically we charge them a little bit extra because, of course, the people that live in town are the ones that put money towards
Right.
this, so they should get a little benefit.
Okay. Very good.
For your RecCom wages, how many people do you know did you employ with those funds
The
last
wait.
year?
Oh, right. Yeah. So that's basically all of our out of school staff. So that's we have a director for the out of school programs, an assistant director, 2 counselors, and then one we stipend, which actually we'll be bringing on as a part-time staff because we need that extra. She does our arts and crafts and does a really great job with the summer program. And I think that's.
I was going to say, is Pat paid out of that?
Oh, Pat might be
Yep,
also.
so our pickleball
yeah,
attendant
we
is
need a
paid out of that as
pickleball
well.
attendant.
Okay.
I think that's.
So 6, 7.
Yeah, I mean, we have I'd have to ask, well, so Chelsea couldn't come. She had a last minute thing with her kids and she's our treasurer. And I'm trying to think of which line item we pay for, we have some independent contractors occasionally too. Our main one is our yoga Pilates instructor who we've had for 3 years now, Laura Rooney. So she does the yoga Pilates on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm just not, I think, don't recall. I think she might also get paid out of the wages as well. Chelsea usually does that, so I just send her the thing.
So, Stacy, what do you charge your participants? The people
Do you
that come?
want? I mean, different amounts. Do
I
you,
mean, a range, like generally.
like for pickleball, it's like $50 a year. It's so
It's
inexpensive.
nothing. Okay.
Yeah, I do occasionally have somebody say, "That's expensive." I'm like, no, it's not. No,
Go to a gym.
it's twice a week and it's year round, except for August we can't do because the gym floor gets redone in August. But same with in our exercise classes are $60 for the year, but it's either $60 for a Tuesday and also $60 for a Thursday. You just pick which day. And then like our kids' sports stuff, mostly it varies between like $30, depending on if it's like, just like the little kids or a beginner thing that's starting, upwards of like, I think our most expensive one at one point was softball was $60, I think, at one point.
But we have to
For
pay
the
for
season.
officials.
They
we
have,
to-
they're
league
more of a
fees.
competitive league
Yep.
too, and they so they have a lot more equipment. So the other thing, so.
Which, in the grand scheme of things, $60 for a softball program is nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah,
No,
right,
fee is
exactly.
minimal.
And then out of school kids, is it?
Yeah, so that we get, so we took on the Great River Challenge this year because they lost their funding with the Kiwanis, as some of you know. And they're our main income for financial aid for kids for the summer program. So we charge as little as we feel like we can get away with. So it's like $175 for residents, $200 for non-residents for the week. But for residents, they can apply to get financial aid. And it varies. It depends on how much the Great River Challenge brings in. And along with, there are other entities that we also get money from too. It's just the bulk of it is the Great River Challenge, and that was part of the reason when they needed help, we were like, yes. Plus, it's a great.
It's a great event.
It's a great event. They're gonna do a sprinter part this year, so it's like for little old ladies like me, or large old ladies like me. And I totally want to try this year, but we'll see. So yeah, that's helpful to have that for the offset, because that's kind of our most expensive. But yet it's such a huge, like when we had to shut down everything due to COVID, that was the one thing we had the hardest time trying to bring it back, and the one thing that people kept asking for. So finally we got it back, and we have all adult staff, you know, we've just started delving into like having CITs, like, so we're working that in a little bit, but I like to keep the adults in charge.
So, just a simple-minded question then. So you have income from, very little income from people paying for classes. You have the Great River Challenge. You've got other sources. You say, what do you do with that?
The income, it all goes into the revolving account.
Okay.
And so what the way the Recreation Commission was established is that we provide a service for the town. So we're not a business. We do try to cover as much of our costs as possible, but the town does give us some money so that, because there are things that we don't make money on, like the pickleball, we don't make money on that, but people want it, and so we try to offset it as best we can.
Okay.
And sometimes it gets offset with other programs and stuff, but there is also the money that comes in that the people have voted for every year that pays for that. So yeah, the money goes into the revolving, all the income. We have actually a couple of revolving accounts now. We have a donation account. The donation account is really great because the revolving account, anything that, if it goes over 10,000, that money goes back to the general fund. But the donation, we can hang on to that money year after year, and that's really helpful into planning. Like we bought a shed that we really needed last year that actually was less than $4,000. We got a really good deal on it. It's brand new. And yeah, I know. I was like, wow. I lucked out on this one. But yeah, so like money from, and then we also like we're doing, the cost of t-shirts now has gone up a lot. It's like $25 a shirt. I might be exaggerating a little bit, but it's gone up. Yeah. And so to do that for the kids every sports season was like starting to become a lot of money. So we did invest in, and it was a lot of money to invest in reusable jerseys that also flip inside and out, but they will last us years. Actually, we have reusable jerseys for basketball that we've had.
So they get issued at the beginning of the season, tournament at the end, use them again next year.
Yeah, so that's going to save some money there too.
With a big cost up front, but over I think it's 3 years, it'll pay for itself.
Yeah.
So we were able to draw out of the donation account.
Gotcha.
For that.
So it pays for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So you anticipate those kind of costs to continue to come from a donation account, or is that something? I think I'm thinking about some of the structures of our of the other folks we've spoken to, and how they sort of squirrel away money to plan for these larger expenses.
Yeah, we've never been able to do that because we didn't have
that account.
Right. We could stay as long as we keep that revolving under 10, but that, so this is kind of new to us to have a squirrel away fund. So that's what we've been doing and drawing from it occasionally for things like that, what we felt would benefit us right away.
But the donation account isn't town funded. It is strictly donations.
Yeah. Right.
Nice. Okay.
Any other questions?
I have probably an Andrea question. I love talking to you. I like the voice in the sky. And this is maybe a question for you all as well. Do donation accounts populate on our, like is that in our spreadsheets?
On the workbooks?
You're talking about the monthly reports?
Yes.
The monthly, no, I don't think the one that they do it has the articles that are voted at town meeting. I think I printed one out. Let me look and see. I have it here and let me check it.
That Ryan sends to everybody every month.
I suppose.
What's that?
I suppose.
Yeah, I'm looking
It
at it.
sometimes is difficult to
Yeah.
navigate some of them. This is
I think it does. 'Cause
the expenditure ledger.
And I'm definitely guilty of skimming sometimes.
Yeah, I think,
I
and then we just got like the Great River Challenge one too, and that just started showing up on some of them. So we have an out of school revolving, regular revolving, donations.
Oh,
I think it's in
Is it on
there.
there?
Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just
just-
curious to know.
It's a little tricky to.
Yeah.
What page is that on?
Yes, it is account, it's under 25.
So when you look at the expense report, instead of an 01 or an 03, if you go to 25, but she doesn't always have the total in there. She shows the net activity. So you'll see what's being spent out of it. But I don't think she's got the allocated amount because that changes regularly, but you can see what's being expended out of the account. There's the police gifts to expense, the council on aging gifts to expense, the library gift fund, the recreation donation. So they're all in there, under the first account number being 25.
Perfect. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Nope.
All right. We're all set. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
you guys
Thank
coming.
Yeah,
Yep,
thanks for
service to
having
the
us.
community, appreciate it.
Yay,
Thank you. Same to you guys.
Yeah, right?
Hard job.
We do.
All
So
right,
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
You know, Robin suggested maybe we'll just knock off the meeting.
I was
minutes
going
now.
to say, it's not quite 7,
not
so
quite
we
7,
have
so
time.
we
We can
should-
go back and do the meeting minutes.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can do
let's do
that.
that.
All right, so we're gonna go back in the meeting minutes for December 15th, 2025. Does anybody have anything they wanted to change?
No, you just have to, as you brought up, Robin, the fact that the agenda shows 12/17,
Yep.
2025. The correction, or corrected information is 12/15
Yeah.
of
for-
2025.
Yeah, the agenda should show that it's 12:15.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the Finance Committee that occurred on Monday, December 15th, 2025.
Second.
All right, everybody in favor?
Tell who
Oh,
seconded.
Morgan O'Brien seconded.
Yeah, 'cause she needs to know for the, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
No questions, we'll put up for a vote.
All right, Robin Vandermatt says yes.
Lindsay McCarthy, yes.
Bernie Parada, yes.
Morgan O'Brien, yes.
All right, they have been approved. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Just know that you can start a meeting because your
It
agenda
says topics may start earlier or later than specified unless there is a hearing scheduled, so you don't have to hold off, just so you know that.
Seven, are we waiting though?
Or Misha, or no?
I don't know if who's gonna do it.
Is she coming? Okay, we'll
Okay.
wait for
We'll
her
wait.
then.
We're not gonna start without her.
So is there anything that we can squeeze into the next 5 minutes? Administrator
want me
updates?
to do my update?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
It's pretty short. Just a couple of things. The Select Board is signing the closing documents for the properties tomorrow night for 39 and 41 Main and all that property. So just wanted to give you a heads up on that is happening for the closing on the purchase and the donation. You do have an updated capital request list I had put in your packet. It isn't on to discuss. I don't know that you need to discuss it right now. I will continue to update that if things come in and out. Obviously, like we know we have an HVAC issue at the town hall. I've added it, but I don't have a number because I'm awaiting a quote. So just wanted to point out that I will continue to update the capital requests if those change. And then
Roger,
uh,
sorry to
yep.
interrupt you. I see that the PVRS district has only asked for two
Couple items here.
It's the same as they always do.
The carpet for 10,000 and gym floor for 13. Have you received anything since then? Else?
We do put 25 in for the town. It goes in your regular budget for capital repairs that the town approves and oversees. That can be others, minor things. But these are specific requests that they submitted documentation for, and I have not received anything else.
Have you had any requests?
From the PVRS concerning any maintenance issues from any of their buildings?
No.
Okay, thank you.
We did get an update from them that there was an HVAC issue at NES, and we've asked them to keep us apprised, and I think you guys are going to discuss some things related to that at your next meeting, but I have not received, nor has the select board been sent anything, nor have I seen anything go to finance that Gail has forwarded me with any kinds of requests for funding for any other type of capital work that's occurring now.
Okay, thank you.
The last thing that is going to be an interesting change. I haven't changed any numbers yet. We are going to roll into the FERCog building inspection program. As you're aware, we already do the electrical and plumbing. We did that last year. And this year we're going to go into the building inspector program. I think it's going to start June 1st. And we will have a budget amount for July 1st for the next fiscal year. But I think we'll have enough money in our budget to cover 1 month in June. If not, we'll come back, but it's a small amount to do 1 month. We'd like to start before the beginning of the fiscal year for a number of reasons. Change in personnel being one of them. But it will drop that budget because right now we pay the building inspector a salaried amount. I'm just looking to see where it is on the master sheet now. Right now, the building inspector is budgeted next year, if we didn't change, would be budgeted at about $38,500 for the building inspector. The building inspection program, however, bills us an amount for each program we participate in. I think last year it was, if I'm not wrong, either 3 or maybe it was 6,000 per program. So that 38 would go away, and we would increase the request for the FERCog building inspection program. That request from them would go up. It's great. Actually, the budget number will look like it goes down, but we also have to remember that right now we receive the revenue from all of our building permits into our general fund. That will also go away. That goes to the FERCog. That's how they fund the program. That's why we only have a smaller stipend, and yet they're funding that program. Having said that, accepting very large projects, which we were fortunate to have, I think our, at least our most recent building solar projects, which were quite large, those have been paid. Those were some seriously large building permit fees. I think one was $25,000. So fortunately, we've captured that revenue before the program changes. But the idea is to become more stable in that position and the supporting position in town as those are now changing over. So we won't be running our own building inspection program. We will have already transitioned, as we have already done for electrical and plumbing, to the Franklin County Cooperative Inspection Program out of Greenfield. Some people are really happy with this. I mean, that you can do it all online now. We don't offer that service, but that the inspection program for the county does. So we have a lot of people having to come up, builders and everything, to pick up building permits, drop off applications, send in this, send in that. That will that will change. And so some of the people doing this work will be able to do all of that online. So, but that number out yet, but as soon as we get an estimate, that number you'll see a change in that number. So when you see that change, you'll know why. So that's really all I have for right now.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay.
All right, well, that brings us to 7 o'clock and the library. If everybody is here, come on up, introduce yourselves.
Hi.
Take your time, don't worry.
Yeah, you want to be.
Yes.
So, hi, I'm Misha Storm, the director of the library, and
I'm John McGowan, I'm the head trustee.
Alex Trisky, the treasurer.
Nice to meet you. Thank you guys for coming.
All right.
do you want me, do you have questions? Do you want me to just go for it?
Launch
Okay.
in and we'll
Go
write our
for it,
questions down and
Misha.
ask when you guys are wrapped up.
Okay, so the biggest ask here is an increase of $1,000 to repair and maintenance. To be honest, I'm probably gonna try to inch this up every year because things get more and more expensive, and we have a lot of deferred maintenance on our building. And we now have a maintenance position for the town, and so things are getting done. But that costs money.
Good news, bad news. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's a small increase, $212 to CW Mars. They tell me what the membership cost is going to be for the next year, so this is a very exact number. And then last year we went over on our water budget, so I upped it $25. And then a hidden increase in here is, so last year there was a one-time increase to our electricity that was $2,000 for like something to Eversource that Andrea can explain better if we need an explanation. And I thought about knocking it back down, but I actually want to keep that $2,000 because electricity is very expensive, and we're almost to that 6,500 now, and that 2,000 has come out of it, that extra one-time fee, but still we're halfway through the year. Our usage is actually the same or lower month to month, but the cost of electricity is just more. So.
How's your capital project that you're looking for the heating and air conditioning coming along?
So Andrea and I are working on the RFP, and we're hoping to get it installed by the summer. Mm-hmm. So at the end of last summer, the old units were like barely working, so I don't think I'll make it another summer. Mm-hmm. So we'll
yeah, the age of the equipment, yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, so that will increase the electricity usage. Well, I don't know if it will. We'll see, because the current units are so inefficient that even though we're adding a unit to one room, it could stay the same because they're more efficient than the old units. So.
Are you going to be using them exclusively and no more? You don't use oil or gas for your.
We use oil for heat, and so I'll be watching that next year too. It may be that next budget cycle we increase electricity, and maybe we can bring down oil.
Yeah.
I'm that's the hope.
Yeah.
So we'll use oil once these new units are in. We'll use oil, just a little bit in the deepest part of winter, and as a backup.
Okay.
If we have the same experience we have.
Town hall, mini splits are not your primary heat source. Your heat source will remain oil. Mini splits can supplement your heat, boost a room, and they can certainly be your air conditioning. But I'll tell you right now, you're sitting in a room which we've repaired that mini split 3 times because they primarily source the heat in the select board meeting room to that mini split, and it can't do it. and it keeps having a problem. So we're actually looking at potentially running heat, a baseboard into that room. It's New England. Mini splits are not going to heat your old buildings by themselves.
So it'll be fall and spring, not the,
Yeah, it'll do great for
Conditioning, and it can be a supplemental in a room that's cold. You can, boost it by putting it on for certain things, but you can't replace your heat source of oil with a mini split. Just doesn't work. The town hall's living proof.
Well, yours is easy and simple.
Yeah. How's your patronage been this past year at your library?
It's great. So we usually do all our statistics for the fiscal year, but I was curious for the calendar year of 2025, and 24,000 people came in the library in 2025, which is kind of crazy. And if you divide it by how many days we're open, that's like it's 90 to 100 people a day.
And you also you also have a donation account?
We do. So we have a gift account. Oh, did you mean that kind of patronage? Okay. So we.
No, Jen.
So we have two kind of other accounts aside from these. We have a gift account that is donations coming in from sometimes memorial funds, sometimes Christmas presents, and then we have state aid, which that's money that gets deposited twice a year. We just got our first one for $4,400, so it's somewhere between $8,000 and $9,000 a year from the state, and that's one of the benefits of meeting all our requirements.
All the requirements, yeah.
So,
And tell them you're gonna have the Dickinsons next summer.
we are having the Dickinsons next summer, but I don't know if that will.
They said 60 of them.
There might be, so there's a Dickinson family reunion coming to the library in June. Maybe that will add to our gift fund.
We're gonna ask them for some money.
We'll see.
Very good. That's exciting.
So, but yeah, our gift fund is always I spend from it, but it's always growing.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's good. The library is a major resource for our community, and something to be very proud of.
Thanks.
And you have good support from the friends.
And we have good support from the friends, yes.
Friends, fantastic.
Got lots of friends.
Yes.
Yes, they pay for all the extra stuff.
They're
Yeah,
amazing.
that's nice.
Yeah.
We should, and
John
I won't say
Harris.
friends. It's been said a lot. Can you, now that you're starting to have folks work through that list of deferred maintenance, do you have that planned out, sort of a mini capital plan for what the next, what the to-do list is?
So, it's in the works for sure. This HVAC system is definitely that's the current capital project. And then we're plotting out how old everything else is. But right now I feel like we're catching up. And so we've been doing catching up projects.
Yeah.
But then I think the next step is there's nothing, unless something terrible happens, if we get the HVAC project done, I think we've bought ourselves a few years, like the furnace is in good health, and all those the roof is okay. So yeah, I think after this year, we'll get the HVAC project done and then be thinking about our next major projects. And more of a 10-year plan kind of.
Now, Morgan has a very good point, because we're going to be looking more and more all the departments to say, especially that have facilities, that look at least 3 to 5 years down the road to have a capital plan for their facilities. So this way we can anticipate and look and potentially budget for these major things, that are faced, because our infrastructure is old and it's needing, we want to be prepared for that. We don't, again, forgive me, don't want this bolt out of the blue, we need a new roof here tomorrow.
Right.
We're looking at, it does take work on your part and the, and the staff, but we need to look at least 3 to 5 years down the road, a capital infrastructure plan from departments. I think that's a necessity now coming, especially with tightened budgets coming down the line.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have an avenue right now for sort of squirreling away money for those
No,
water meter explodes tomorrow kind of situations?
no, we don't.
Okay.
No. And as you can see, our repair and maintenance line is usually $2,000. So yeah, there's.
That's what somebody's household.
Yeah.
Talk about the library.
So no,
That's
there's
quite-
no
Repair
plan.
budget's bigger.
Yeah, I have to say, that is quite parsimonious here.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a town-owned building, so it is good that y'all are thinking about that, and I am happy to be thinking about it with you. In the past, I don't know, I haven't had a major financial building emergency yet.
Mm-hmm.
That is one thing that I think state aid has been used for in the past, but I have mixed feelings about that. The town is owned by the building. That state aid is meant to be, for programming, which we don't have a programming budget and things like that. So, yeah.
That's mean.
So I just have a quick question. The electricity expended as of November 15th, $5,500 out of your $6,500 budget already?
Yeah. So 2,000 of that was.
Oh, is that because of the
Eversource thing?
Eversource thing? Okay, I'm like, have you really used up that much already? Oh no, it's gonna be a hard year.
So we've used 3,500.
Okay.
But that still puts us over halfway.
Yeah.
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 Because we've used 3,500 out of 4,500.
Yep. It's
It's
still pretty.
And yeah, like I said, I've been comparing the usage,
Yeah.
this October, last October, or whatever month, and our usage is the same or lower. I've tried to be really mindful with the electricity usage, but
Other than it makes sense that you would keep that line item for next year because it looks like
yeah.
that might not even be
Right.
a good number.
Yeah, I think we've all watched at home. My electricity is awful too. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, my electric bill kept the same use and my electric bill is doubled, basically. I couldn't believe
It has
it,
been rough.
Yeah.
Delivery cost.
Yeah. So we will go over our budget this year, and I'll,
Well, I guess that's
be
what I was kind
under
of
on another
wondering.
line.
Is that something that maybe the 6,500 should be more for next year?
It could be more for next year, yes. When I was thinking about it, next year's gonna be an experimental year with the new units. And so I kind of wanted to watch it and see where everything lands.
Yep.
And, if we have to wiggle from another line, then to cover it. Yeah. But yes, it might be that I'm asking for more next year. Maybe electricity rates will go down.
Yeah. Maybe.
The infamous cost of living is going to go down.
Yeah, it's going down.
Yeah.
Everything's more.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being so careful.
Oh, yeah.
That's nice.
And thank you for the libraries. Like you said, an excellent service to the community.
Yeah, it's my
You
pleasure.
are a fun place.
Yep.
Any other questions?
Nada.
Anything else you guys want to share?
So I think we're doing great.
I like it.
I have one question.
Yeah.
So I love the library. Do you have a sense for how many programs you all were able to run in the previous fiscal year? And does that all come from the library materials budget line?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
We have 0 programming budget from the town,
Okay.
and we run 300 programs a year. So. So where does the money come from? So some comes from the Friends.
Okay.
A lot of programs were scrappy and come out of thin air and make them really cheap, and they come from the gift fund. We probably end up doing like 2 expensive programs a year, and those are usually funded by the Cultural Council.
Okay.
Expensive is like 500-ish. And everything else we piece together, and then the Friends also fund some of the more expensive ones.
We've got a lot of puzzles.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Yeah, there's a lot of puzzles.
Yeah,
So
you
a
do.
lot of our programs are made possible by donations and volunteers. Yeah, we could do more with a programming budget, but we do okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That's it. I promise. For now.
Okay.
Run.
All right. You've got a couple minutes before we walk out the door if you want to.
I'll catch you in the parking lot. Like I'll just. Oh, and another thing.
All right.
Well, thank you guys.
Thank you
Very
so much.
informative.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate everything you guys
Happy
do.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Just to tack on there, I think what you understand what the
Eversource money was about. I'm happy to explain that. The quick thing on the maintenance is think I'm going to put on your next agenda an explanation of what's happening with maintenance, just to give you an update with what we're doing. We're involved now through a pilot program with an AI system where if you look on the side of the mini split behind you, there's a QR code. So all of our major assets have been tagged, inventoried, assessed, photographed, and put in into a system where we're going to be able to keep track of every maintenance work order that we send, so that every piece of equipment, we can see the work order. We've scanned the registrations to get the dates and see, even if we don't know when they're installed. So we're working really hard on trying to get that, and then we can use that to create some capital planning with the library and the town hall.
That is cool.
So I can bring you a little more about that next meeting. I have a little bit I discussed with the select board to kind of explain that program. So I can do that. The other thing is, if you want to know what the library gets, one of the tabs in your workbook says cherry sheet. If you click on that, you will see how the cherry sheet breaks down. And there's one that says there's a veterans, and then there's offset receipts, public library. So a portion of the money that we get is dedicated to the library, even though it's in our quote unquote cherry sheet. And that tab says cherry sheet. And even if you go back to your budget summary, you will see the cherry sheet offset that is the library, because we put the total amount of the cherry sheets in as a revenue. So we have to take the offset out as an expense. So those tabs break down to show you all those. So another piece of reading your master worksheet. So that number that she's talking about for fiscal 26 was 800, I think the public library number was 8,655. So that's why she just got 4,200 and something as her half year number. So that's how that plays.
All right, well, that brings us to briefings on meetings attended by others. Anybody attended any meetings?
We sure did.
We sure did, and
All
forgive me for saying it was most aggravating, frustrating meeting I've been to since I've been on the finance committee.
Well, do share.
That was the
What we
meeting.
went to, yeah.
Yeah, that was the meeting we had with the school committee, and forgive me for saying this, it was not. Even for me, which I rarely ever do, I lost my temper there too, dealing with the school committee and the administration. Obviously, a major issue. Obviously, they did the primary presentation of their budget, and also about their seeking the applying to the MSBA feasibility study, for which they are seeking $1.2 million bond, which was a surprise. There were many surprises. The biggest surprises were that they moving forward with the feasibility study, even though the select boards from 3 communities have advised the MSBA and them that they're not in favor of it. There's no open support I heard from any of the other finance committee members from the other communities of Leiden and Bernardston. And the issue too was that They gave us the figures that would be for a 5-year bond. Northfield example would be starting at $59,000 a year additional to through fiscal year 32, which would be down to $51,000. So the Northfield would have to put forward $278,298.38 for the feasibility study. They claim that the state will reimburse 58% of that feasibility study. But the big question that wasn't asked, that I thought about later, was is the communities on the hook if the town does not approve a building project? Are we then responsible for the entire amount of the $1.2 million bond? That question wasn't asked, and of course, no answer was given. The other interesting thing is that we were surprised by the fact that we were on the impression, and from what information we received, that they were looking for a new campus where the high school and middle school are located, and that they would close Bernardston Elementary and Northfield Elementary. But then they said that the MSBA won't allow that they changed it, that it would be replaced or whatever to do with Northfield Elementary School, which they claimed has many maintenance flaws, and also besides the maintenance flaws, we have never seen, our finance committee has never seen a capital plan from them for any of the maintenance for the buildings. And as I asked Andre earlier, they've been complaining about their heating system malfunctioning, yet we haven't seen anything yet. They tried to basically throw our chair of the select board and the town basically under the bus, saying that's our fault. So that was not a good thing.
Bernie, can you clarify for me? The district is proposing that a new building would be placed on the campus for NES?
No, they're saying no. They're changing from that to, we don't know yet. The only thing that they're focusing on is replacing Northfield Elementary School. That's it.
Oh, of the three
because
buildings.
They also made
within.
the superintendent made the assertion that the MSBA said that our elementary school is one of the worst school buildings in the state, which kind of shocked me too. And after all, we've put a lot of money into it, according to Dan Campbell, almost $1 million in repairs and improvements, and yet we're being told this is the school is in not very good condition. So and that. The other thing too is they gave us information that they said the school population will increase by 200 students over the next 10 years. I have handed out, you probably see in front of you, this was a study done by the Donahue Institute at UMass Amherst, which looked at population studies, especially for Northfield. And it shows that Northfield will be looking at a substantial decline in population over the next 15 years. In 2010, we had 3,032 people in 2010. By 2050, 15 years from now, we're only going to have 2,064 people here in town. With such a dramatic decline in population, basically almost 1/3 of our population, I don't see where anybody can say we're looking at 200 additional students over what they have now. It doesn't make sense. And Leiden brought up that issue too. They've only had in the last 2 years, only 3 births in their town. And then school choice has declined. And here I'll hand out so you can see it. You can see the numbers are going down there also. And then of course they provided a budget, but they had a large area which they did not address, was the change from fiscal year 26 to fiscal year 27. So we can't see what the differences are between this current operational year and what they're proposing next year. And it goes on. Oh, the other thing too is they are going to move forward. They said they have a timeline of their seeking to notify the towns that they are going to seek this bond, even though there hasn't been.
Special town meeting they're going to call for.
They're going to call for a special town meeting, and they said it has to be within 60 days of them petitioning the town. And I thought that was kind of a very short timeline, because how are you going to educate and inform the public who's going to make that decision? And the fact is, I thought doing it in winter and doing it with people being away from town, seniors may not be as open to going out in bad weather or slippery conditions. I said, why don't you wait till annual town meeting, which would be more appropriate, and you would get also a fair representation of the voters of our three communities. Again, the thing that gets me is that I'm just surprised they claim all this problems, and yet, with facility, yet we have not been brought up to speed on any of them. It's like we're expecting capital plans. What are you looking for? And that it appeared that they are looking that a new facility will not obligate them to repair the current facilities.
Right.
That doesn't make sense. Yet they're claiming the heat is not very reliable, and that I'm just surprised if the heating system is already malfunctioning. Why wasn't this addressed earlier and repaired potentially in the better weather?
Right.
That's what I would do if I had a problem with my system.
I mean, they asked us for that portcullis or whatever it is, that awning over the thing. Why didn't they mention the HVAC was failing or struggling? Because let me tell you, I know what I would prefer. That awning can go away and we can fix our HVAC. Thank you.
The other thing.
Well, can I just say one little quick comment? The new facility, if there is one chosen, wouldn't even be online or available for many years, because the feasibility study takes a few years, then you got to make the plan for a few years, and then you got to build the building for a few years. So, if our buildings are in that bad a shape, what's supposed to happen in between all this time? We're going to end up having to fix it anyway.
Yeah.
Is I guess my feeling, unless I totally misunderstood what they were saying, but.
But my concern is too is that they also said that the potential, if it fails, they're going to have to evacuate the school and send the kids to some other location.
Well, they mentioned at that video from before our last meeting, I was watching, and they said that they were going to be busing students up to one of their less used wings at the school. And I'm not going to be all conspiracy theory, but it seems really convenient that they're trying to get everybody up there anyway, rather than fixing the actual problems.
Well, and I asked them, I said, so why wasn't there a plan? And she, if I understood what she said, that, well, that was up to you. You're the landlord, we're the tenant, you're the ones that are supposed to be on top of that.
The tenant is supposed to be telling us the problems and so we can fix it.
So she basically said, that's on you, me, us.
Yeah.
I
So
think that's how that works.
Yeah, the other issues here were, just so you quick know, they're looking at their budget approximately, now this is their draft version, 1.0 is approximately looking at, for fiscal year 27, a 6.41% increase in their budget. And that they're looking that assessments, annual operating assessments, will increase their draft of 9.97%. So that's what they're looking there on the budget.
Increase 10%.
Now, the things too, they brought up issues of using statistics, especially one about the issue of per capita, to show that we are underfunding the schools, and that is absolutely not a proper metric to use to looking at per capita, because it doesn't take into question many. They were like an example, like our highway department is. But again, the only thing you know is how many miles that the highway department has to maintain. You know what I mean? They were looking that we've been more generous potentially with other departments and with the schools. I looked at the information from DESI's website. Our actual school spending is 44.3% above net school spending, which is the state requirement. So we're above the state requirement there. Total enrollment has fallen. For the high school, there's been a decline of, the total of 12 students. What's that? Let's see here. Grades 1 through 6 in 23-24 was 121. 2024 was down to 101. And they're anticipating currently fiscal year 26 to 27 that the student population will be between 84 and 85 students. They're at the, for grades 1 through 6 at Northfield Elementary. That's all the students we have. And the other thing was when they presented their budget, we were surprised that the fact is they never addressed enrollment figures for the middle and high school, only the grade school. That's like, well, and we had this problem last time, and we said, you need to provide us the enrollment numbers for all grades. But this is their handout, and that did not have it. So, and that, so let's see what else here I have. I'm sorry, I have notes here. I'm trying to, as again, our school population just is in a continuous decline, substantially though at the high school, middle school and high school level. The other thing we wanted to ask is they said that the several parents or more, Lindsay can probably address that better of the total number or what you've heard, have taken their kids out of the elementary school here in Northfield.
16.
How many?
16.
16. I asked if that was the number that was included in their total enrollment. I find that questionable. I think that they state that it's 85. I honestly don't know if we can believe that figure, if that includes the parental student parents taking them out of the elementary school. Let's see. The other question too is that we would have to face as a town is eventually if they do replace Northfield Elementary School, what are we going to do with the current facility? Many cities and towns, it takes several years to redevelop a facility. It's not something you're going to do in 60 days or 6 months or a year.
And in a declining population town?
In a declining population town, I have an empty school right above where I live. It's been empty for several years. You know, I mean, if that can't be developed, what are we going to do with our, especially on Main Street, which is our most important avenue in our community, and to have a large building, which we're going to have to maintain and care for until it's redeveloped. We just can't abandon it.
Right.
What are we going to do with that additional cost is going to be something the taxpayers will have to bear. And I also tried to address with the school committee and the superintendent was not only our community, but you know, obviously Lyde and Bernardston, but Northfield has certain, you know, infrastructure demands. Now, we're not only facing, we've just been briefed not long ago on the need for the $246 million for the tech school, Franklin County Tech School. They're looking for a new school. Then we're also looking at EMS facility, a fire facility, and the sewer plant, repair, replacement, whatever that may take. And I was like, don't you understand the potential lack of affordability by placing, I mean, the taxes on our residents is going to be a substantial increase.
They can't afford it.
And are people going to be able to afford that? So I don't know where they, you know, I think that we can take on some of these infrastructure things one at a time, but to take on multiple ones, I don't think we have the financial wherewithal to do so. It just doesn't show to be a common sense move. But, you know, those are the things that I brought up. I clearly, I have to admit, I was very frustrated dealing with that. They seem not to, my opinion, care about what the towns think or the select boards or finance. They're going to move ahead and do this anyway.
Well, yes. However, when each of the select boards from each of the 3 towns wrote to the MSBA and said, we're not supporting this project, the MSBA came back to PVRS and said, okay, you need to answer these towns' concerns. And I don't know, maybe Andrea knows, was there a deadline to when they were supposed to respond? There's not, okay. So it seems if they haven't responded, how can they go forward with getting a vote to fund something that the MSBA is concerned about with them already?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That's just dicey somehow.
well, yeah. And then
So if, you know,
the other thing too is that there was a question brought up by one of the select board members, Brian Keir from Bernardston, concerning the change of what they were looking for, what they had a study done for the campus up there where the high school, and now they suddenly have changed the parameters because they said this is forced by MSBA to look at just Northfield Elementary School. And then the other thing is that you know, the issue too was it was brought up that we still have an overseer overlooking our district, which is not, according to their budget, not in there. It used to be. But then he brought up the fact that when we were told, when we've paid off the debt, which was a question at first, the district said we could not pay it off early. Then that changed, we could pay it off early. Then it was, you know, again, there was that change of, we're getting different answers at different times instead of consistent answer. And the other thing was, they originally had told us that they would finance this feasibility study out of their own budget.
mm-hmm.
That's not happening. As you can see, they're going to seek a bond.
They were told they can't.
Yeah. And so it's like, I don't know what answers we're getting. You know, I hear one thing one time and hear another thing sometimes else. And so it gets, you know, very frustrating having to, you know, deal with this. And the other thing too is they made it clear they have voted against even though the townspeople from all these towns voted to have a study for the potential of the sixth town, they have made it clear they have voted against regionalization, increase to go include Gil Montague.
Yeah.
They've already made that decision clear. And the other thing is that I don't know if all of us, several of us have attended those 3 town meetings, which we have had.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we sent our response from the town side on the 3-town regional agreement back in September, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
We have not heard an answer yet back, a response to our.
PVRS. No.
We haven't heard from PVRS at all. So my thing is, it seems to be it's a one direction here. And to me, if we're going to be in any way collaborative, it has to be a two-way street.
Yeah.
And that's just common sense and just the way to go. But I have to say, though, that was probably the most frustrating meeting I have ever attended. I just was like, you know, and again, I don't like also them trying to throw members of our community under the bus, especially our chair of our select board. You know, that to me was uncalled for. But again, this is what happened. That's my take on what occurred and that. But I felt that all of us, you should have at least hear what took place.
Mm-hmm.
Can you remind me, the school district owns the middle and high school,
Yes.
and the towns own the elementary schools?
Yes.
Okay.
And they have a facilities director.
But they're still supposed to be caretaking. They're supposed to be letting us know, hey, like they do with the carpets. The carpets need to be replaced. The gym floors need to be redone. The awning, the cameras. Oh, by the way, HVAC really
Yeah.
should have come up in a conversation.
And they did. We just not long ago replaced all the bathrooms, which
Right.
was a major project. I mean, again, I understand that they have, to, you know, buildings, it's an older building. I understand it needs repairs, it needs maintenance. But please, why don't you give us a capital plan of what's necessary? And we have never rejected fixing a problem at our elementary school, which we are responsible for.
And we have told them that. Let
Yeah.
us know what needs to be done so that we can get it done.
And they were addressed to that. We never got an answer about a capital plan, providing one to us. So.
Well, and that's one of the bones of contention with the regionalization, the plan that we're trying to get is we want them to keep that separate as opposed to rolling into the budget. So it's not surprising that this is happening.
Yeah.
Not at all.
So we'll see what happens in the future on
Yeah.
that.
Andrea, I have a question on the facilities before we pivot. You mentioned, and maybe we're going to talk about it more next week when we talk about the maintenance of our town buildings. And kind of how that plan will unfurl. With the school being a town building, is there an intention for how that will be incorporated into this maintenance planning? And I understand that the maintenance person who is associated, like who is doing the work within the library and the town hall is not, he is not the town handyman. He's not responsible for doing all of this work. But sort of where does it, like this is one of those squidgy spots where I'm curious to know how we can kind of extend a hand and an olive branch to say, like, we have this person, let's sit down together, let's put together a capital plan, because we feel like it's not happening on your side, and
That's how it was left, yeah.
Yeah,
Dan
and
said,
we need
okay,
that.
we'll work on it.
Well, there was discussion already about,
When I first started, very first started, there was like one person left on a maintenance, on a school capital committee. I went to a meeting or two and a couple of things were on there as priorities, including, as Bernie has mentioned, the bathrooms, which the town voted almost $400,000 for. I was there when they were finishing up the clocks and electrical and IT thing, which was another $500,000 project when I started at the schools. So there had been a group, but it was composed of, I think, only by one person left from the town and like the maintenance person from the school. And that kind of, it fell apart. So the discussion the select board's having, and Gail is aware of this, but she wanted to put it on your agenda after the select board. I think the select board is talking about reestablishing a elementary school capital maintenance committee of some kind, and which would contain various members, including, I'm sure, at least one member from the finance committee, and then and somebody from the school, maybe Gretchen, who's their maintenance person, obviously, and putting that back on the table as a capital planning committee specifically for the NES building. We do have some evaluations that were done a year ago when the schools undertook this desire to look at the school buildings, culminating ultimately in this request to the SBA. But anyway, they did some analysis. I know that Lindsay's husband, David, from the from the select board, has looked at that plan, that evaluation pretty extensively. So it would certainly be a place for this committee that once it's formed to start. So that is on the select board agenda to create that committee. And I think Gail is then going to bring it to the finance committee at your next meeting as well. I mean, it could be two members of the finance committee if two people are interested in going, but I know that the intention is to create some kind of committee that the town would step back into the role of planning for that school. It's a little complicated because, the school is obviously now trying to do some kind of plan that would shut the school down. So there'll be some give and take there. But I do know that that's probably coming to you at your next meeting.
Having Dan spearheading that. That was one of the takeaways. That, yeah, Dan, yeah, it's gonna spearhead that on the select board side. Yep.
Thank you.
It was good times.
Any other meetings?
That was it.
All right.
Unless you have anything further to say, Lindsay? Nope.
Nope.
Okay.
And we have no public for the public comment.
No public.
oh, just a quick reminder on
February 2nd, PVRS is coming to your meeting. I believe that's a finance committee meeting, correct? February 2nd. And the select board are invited to attend your meeting. Yes. And they did reach out to say, are there any specific questions you would like them to be prepared to answer? So if anyone has any questions they want to forward to me, I'm happy to forward them over to the business manager who reached out to me by email. I'll remind you again next week. That'll give them a month to look into whatever questions you have before they come to you, but if you have specific questions, I think, it behooves you to for us to send them to them.
Andrea, I have
Quick question. I brought up the issue of that the bond, and if the school isn't built, do you know from your experience, are we on the hook for the entire bond without, the 58% reimbursement if the project doesn't go to fruition?
I don't know whether that bond becomes reimbursable if the project doesn't move forward. I mean, the SBA process, I'm sure, I mean, there were 3 projects. I don't know that they've explained it very well. There were 3 projects they put in for, like notice of intents. One was NES, one was for Pioneer Valley, and one was for Bernardston. And the only one that MSBA accepted was the elementary school project. I still think that PVRS is hoping that by accepting that project, they can push them into thinking the building so bad that it makes sense to roll forward into a combined building project. But it's not that MSBA has accepted a combined building project. They have only accepted looking at NES, which could ultimately then, I guess, terminate in various projects, one being a combined building, one being renovate I don't know. But that's what the feasibility study would pay a large portion of. But there's no guarantee, even after you do a feasibility study, that your project moves forward. There's a lot of little hurdles that you have to jump for to be accepted finally into an MSBA project to be funded. I'm
Yeah.
not sure the feasibility study, being accepted for a feasibility study means that they would even fund the project that comes out of it. I don't know that that's a guarantee.
The other
Question I have is it proper for a community like Leiden and Bernardston basically subsidizing a feasibility study for NES?
That's a legal question that has already arisen for us. So I don't have an answer for you yet.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you, and thank you for,
Andrea, I have one other quick question about the MSBA kind of thing. The way I came away from that school meeting was, and I asked them, is it required to have a feasibility study for any project, whether it's a capital or a significant maintenance project? And they said, yes, you have to do a feasibility study either way. But I looked at the MSBA website earlier, and it said it's a much scaled down type of combination of feasibility study and plan in one study. So my understanding.
You're going to do a maintenance plan. I mean, a repair versus a rebuild.
Right, a new roof thing. So this feasibility study is separate. Then they said, then they have to pay to get a plan made, is the way I understood it. But
well, yeah, a feasibility study isn't your engineering architectural drawings.
right, but
then they'd have to be turned into full architectural drawings, which would then have to be bid. I mean, if you keep moving forward.
Right. But if it's a major repair, then you have to do kind of a combination feasibility study plan in one thing. It's one effort. So it's condensed and combined is what I understood.
Repairing versus replacing.
Right. So I'm throwing that out there because
this is being done as a feasibility study. I have not heard the word plan as part of that expense request.
and that's what I'm saying. That's why I lean toward we could still get MSBA funding for a major repair. The process is just a little bit different. Yeah.
People have had new roofs put on, windows and doors done. You don't have to replace something.
Isn't Gil
seeking MSBA help in a roof repair next door?
I don't know, but that is a very common MSBA request because they cost millions of dollars.
Yeah.
To put roofs on schools.
I guess the way they painted it, and maybe I didn't understand it, but they said that no, they don't fund these other types of things. they don't reimburse part of it. And that was their selling point, saying, well, they'll pay 50 whatever % of it if we do it this way. But if we do it with we need to just make our own roof, MSBA doesn't help with that. But they could.
Well, I think
There's two slightly different avenues you're taking there. If you're building a new school, there's things that they will pay for they have to be directly related to instruction. So they're not going to build you an auditorium. They won't, well, they don't reimburse for that. A repair, a roof is considered you got to have a roof to have instruction. So certain repairs you can go through the MSBA program. But if you're going for a brand new building, they take out certain things that they don't consider. So yes, you can build a whole new building. They'll remove the auditorium. If you want a swimming pool, that's out. Like, there are things they will not cover because they do not consider that directly related to the instruction.
Yep. So I guess if we're going to go ahead with this committee, the building committee, to help analyze and come up with the plan of what the major things are that need to be done, could they not, in tandem, as they identify those and put the timeline together, put an application in for MSBA support for those things as they come up?
I think your plan should
List, timeline, project, potential funding sources. Because there may be other potential funding sources. What will go to the town? What could be an MSBA project? And you have to be realistic about that, because an MSBA project can take 5 years. So, you're not going to do it on something you need next year, because you're not going to get it. So, but if the longer you wait, the further down the road those projects get. And then you're not going to, you're going to end up paying for them because they're going to die before MSBA ever kicks in. But yes, I think everything should be tagged with a potential funder or funding sources. There may be more than one. So absolutely should be a funding source for every project.
I was sort of under the impression that this $1.2 million for the feasibility study was with the intention of studying PVRS and like doing that whole study to be able to replace the campus.
MSBA said no.
And
They
so
state.
I guess I was hearing you say that it was 3 applications that were put in. $1.2 million to me sounds like it would be the amount for all 3 of those.
Nope.
So if
only
all
for NES.
3 had been approved, would we still be on the hook?
To move forward on.
I
But
guess
it doesn't mean you couldn't culminate in one of the response. I guess that's what they're hoping for.
They're hoping that it'll bleed over into NES. So poor that we need to look at these other options.
Yeah.
But currently, that's not what was accepted.
Right. My thought is $1.2 million was the anticipated cost when it was 3 projects, and now it's 1 project.
Yep.
And I don't understand why it's still $1.2 million.
It was never the price for 3.
No. Originally,
It's
they were,
always been Northfield only. That was the one that was accepted. At least my understanding is.
well, originally they told us, it was a period of time ago, that they were looking at using $800,000, and that was for that original plan that they had.
Mm-hmm.
Remember all that, input they wanted from the residents and, teachers and the school body about locating a campus up there where the high school is currently, or the middle school too. But they said they originally were going to pay for it themselves out of their budget for a little over $800,000. That changed when they said, no, we're not paying for it. We're going to bond for it. And it's 1.2 million now.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a little surprise too.
Wasn't the overseer, was that the one who was on the call? The overseer?
No,
budget
that was the
oversight?
treasurer who was on the call.
Oh, okay.
That was Kami Malika, who's the treasurer.
Oh, okay,
That was not the overseer.
okay. Because somebody said, no, you can't really spend that kind of money on this because you have insurance, you have other things. So-
No, the treasurer thought it was her stat, she's part of the PVRS, said
Okay.
she didn't feel that was financially a good idea
Yeah.
for the school district to pay for this. That was not financially viable for them to do so, unlike Franklin Tech, who took it out of their budget for the last 10 years.
Yeah, they saved up for it.
They saved up for it. But so then they changed to, we're going to bond. And that's what they're going to put forward for a town. You know, if they have a schedule clearly here that they're going to have a vote on January 8th to incur the debt amount of $1.2 million. And within 7 days after the school committee's affirmative vote, they're already anticipating an affirmative vote already, that they're going to notify the select boards of the 3 towns and the town clerks to move forward to have a special town meeting for the purpose of the, approval or disapproval of them seeking the debt. And within 60 days, the town meeting has to take place. If no town meeting takes place in an individual town, it's then accepted that the town approves it.
Yeah. But how can they ask for the vote when they haven't responded to MSBA's concerns?
Yes.
And they haven't.
Yeah. Well,
And
the
so
other thing too
they got
is,
to know if MSBA is still on board, and
Yeah.
they don't know.
and how little time is left to inform the public.
Right.
I'm sorry, what's happening on the 8th?
They're having a vote to, and they already say in the affirmative to seek the debt.
Okay,
Then they'll notify the towns,
okay,
and then they will
do
request a
that?
special town meeting
okay.
for a vote on the debt from the residents,
So the
from all
vote-
3
vote
towns.
is on the 8th. Thank you. But that's-
Is that correct, Andrea? Yep, yes.
That's what I heard, I mean, they vote to.
Notify the towns have a certain time frame to hold the town meeting. Yeah, it's under Mass General Law, how they can ask the towns to incur that debt.
Now, the other thing, Andrea, is that
2/3 vote or simple majority?
I believe it's actually a majority vote. Because the district, but I think this, I have to look and see, it's either the school committee has to be 2/3 and then the towns are, majority. But I think I don't think the towns were only a majority vote. But they are sending a letter to the legislators, the select boards, asking them, because Montague gets to do it by ballot, because they are a representative town meeting. So they have a ballot question. It's the only way for them to reach all their residents, because all the residents don't go to town meeting. They have representatives. They think that the other towns should also be able to do it by ballot. Because it's hard to get everybody to come to a town meeting, but if you have an election, you have all day to stop by and vote. So I think the letters are trying to make the point that Montague's kind of getting a little bit of an unfair advantage here. Their residents are getting all day for an election to vote on a ballot, and the other towns, you have to come to that town meeting that night at that time to vote. So I don't know what the legislators can do, whether they can write a home rule petition and push it through. But I do know that the select boards are all looking to the legislators to ask them to make that more fair to all of the towns to have a ballot vote for more participation.
Now, on this,
Debt vote for a special town meeting, is this require all 3 communities to approve it? If one disapproves, does that
does.
kill it?
Yep, I asked them that.
You did, okay,
Yep, yep.
sorry.
No, you're good. Just good to verify with Andrea.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that, okay,
Yes, so everybody has to approve it.
all right,
So that's gonna go then.
that's it. That's all.
All right, items not reasonably anticipated within 48 hours. Anybody have anything? No? All right, well then that moves us to our next meeting, which is Monday, January 12th, where we will have the assessors, and maybe accountant, treasurer, collector, town clerk, boards or committees for the energy conservation.
Maria, I'm out of town that one. Is there a way to call in for that? Or is that not?
Through Zoom.
Oh, because
I'm not gonna be in town for that one. Is there a way for me to call in? I will also be remote, so if you send me an email, I'll share my link with you. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right, well, is that everything then?
I make a motion that the Finance Committee adjourn our meeting.
I second it, Lindsay McCarthy.
Wonderful, then we are adjourned if there's no further discussion. Everybody in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All right, we are adjourned at 7:59 p.m.
Thank you.
Thanks, Robin, for
No problem.